What's going on, everybody? Scott Hogan coming at you. We're here. We're going to be talking through some of the numbers on the Garmin app. A lot of people have asked me if I'll go over and explain those because there are new numbers that people are not familiar with. If you haven't been teaching with a launch monitor or been around a launch monitor a lot, you would probably struggle to know what they are. So let's go over them all. All right, so one of the cool things about the Garmin is it's actually bringing into the world of, kind of in-home golf instruction, all the numbers that you really see that are available. It's not all of them from like a TrackMan or a, FlightScope X3, but you are going to get a lot of numbers that you might not have seen in the past. So that can be a little bit intimidating at first, but we want to go through those here today and just talk through them and see what we've got. So what I did is I pulled up a session of me just hitting here, and I'm just going to take a look, and we're going to just swipe on through and take a look, and I'll just explain them as we go. And you'll see there's a couple here that are weird, but I'm not here to talk about the validity of the numbers, but I just want to explain to you what these numbers mean. Okay, so let's start it off here. We're going to just start it off when you go through the Garmin and you're in the driving range settings. You swipe over, you're going to get to this first big looking screen here. And so you're going to have the first number, backspin. Hopefully that's self-explanatory. RPMs, that's revolutions per minute. Same with side spin. Now, if you have a Mevo Plus, you were getting spin axis. I prefer the side spin number personally. I kind of know what that means more. Just for a reference point, you typically see with a premium ball, whatever iron you're hitting. So if, in this case, a 7-iron, you should be getting around 6,000 to 7,000 RPMs of spin. If you're using a range ball, you're going to get, like a distance ball, you're going to get less spin, so you might be in like the 5,000s. Obviously, this one's low. Side spin, what I always try to get people to have is less than 500, and then if we can do even less than that, that's obviously better. Face to path, here we go. So we're going to get into this section here, and you can see this is a top-down look. So the way it's looking is, if I'm looking straight at it, it's like I'm hitting towards the top of the screen. And what it's telling you is, first off, we'll start with club path. That's going to be 5 to the right. So all club path is if you imagine just horizontal to the ground, what you're going to get is you are going to get the direction the club is traveling through the impact zone. And that's typically knee high to knee high as you're going through there. So this is saying I was swinging at 5 to the right. Club face, same thing. It's just saying where that face was pointed at impact. This is 1.2 right. So what you then do from there is you get your face to path number. And so what that is it's just basically the difference between the club path and face. So you can see 5 to the right with the face, and then subtract 1.2 to the right. That means the face was 3.8 left of the path. So I would actually be hitting a push draw on this shot. So that's a very important number, I think, and a very important concept I think people should look at is face to path. So if people are starting to grasp that idea, I think that's a good thing. There's launch direction. That's just the starting direction that the shot goes. So you can see there are other factors. If you remember when with the Mevo Plus, we said, you can get a pretty close idea on the club face based on where it launches. You can see that's not everything. Where you contact it, let's say I hit it on the toe, that's going to start it more off to the right. So it's not 100% everything, but it is usually pretty close. Within a degree or so. You can't see a degree with your human eye, so I think that's pretty close. So we can use that when we're using other launch monitors. We go down here, we have our launch angle, hopefully again a little bit self-explanatory, just the degrees from the ground that ball is taking off. That one varies based on your swing speed, what you're trying to do with the golf ball. If you really want to know, I would highly recommend you Google TrackMan's PGA Tour and LPGA Tour numbers, and you'll be able to see what they're launching each of those clubs kind of on average. So that just gives you a general idea. And then you have attack angle. Attack angle is the angle you are approaching the ground in degrees as you're going into impact. So this one's saying I hit down at negative 4.9. I would say that's pretty high for me for a 7-iron. I usually am closer to 0. I am more of a sweeper, but again, the thing about attack angle is you have to tell the launch monitor where the ball is. So I don't know where you do that on the Garmin, so I'm not really sure about that attack angle number, to be honest with you. Obviously, you have total distance. That's the ball after it rolls. Carry, which is the number I really worry about. That is how far the ball went in the air. And then your deviation. That's how far right or left that shot was, okay, from the target line. Where did it finish? So, again, this one actually doesn't make a whole lot of sense. This ball should have actually been left of the target based on the club face, club path numbers. Just FYI. So that's just something I see there. So then we've got more numbers, so I'll try to skip the ones that, we're looking at. So total deviation is just giving you a deviation in degrees to the right. Anytime you see deviation, basically you just want to think of whatever it's measuring in a deviation it's kind of giving you a range of like how far off you are with that club. So like, yeah, you might hit it 145 yards on this club on this shot, but based on all the other 7-irons you've hit, you could deviate 5 to 10 yards or whatever it gives you. So it just gives you an idea of how consistent you are with those clubs. And so that's very important when it comes to strategy and picking targets, so you know what's a safe target and what is not. So when you see carry, deviation, that's what you're getting. It's just giving it to you in degrees and in yards. And so the more shots you have on that, the better. Club speed and ball speed, again, hopefully those are explanatory. Club speed at impact, ball speed at impact. The thing that I think is weird on the Garmin is it gives it to you in meters per second. I don't know what that means. I've had to go to Google, and again, I've tried to figure out how to change it. I'm not got it to change. I don't know if they can make an adjustment for that, but that's just something I thought that was interesting. So the rest of the numbers on here are going to be fairly similar, except we do have a spin axis number on this as well. That's just going to be 3.4 to the left. That's just the angle the ball is tilting as it's spinning. So, I mean, it's fairly similar to side RPMs, right? It's just going to give you that. You got the same stuff, face to path, angle of attack, apex height, 24 yards, so 72, or no, what is that, 72 feet? I think so. And then smash factor, 1.48. There is no way that's true for a 7-iron. For a shot that carried that far and went that high, I don't think that's true. There's no way that could be possible. That's very high. So just an FYI there. A driver, you typically have a smash factor with a driver around 1.47 all the way up to 1.50, 1.51. 1.50 is kind of considered the highest smash factor you can get on TrackMan. 1.51 is occasionally seen, but they find that those are with some of the drivers that are different colors, and the radars have a hard time reading those heads to get the proper club head speed of those. So just another little tidbit there. And then, that's the numbers that you're looking at. So, again, you're getting pretty close. I think some of the ones off the top of my head that you're missing, you're missing swing direction from like a TrackMan. That's going to be kind of the way your swing is going in a three-dimensional world. That's a very important number. But, again, it's getting pretty complicated when you do that. I also think that, some of the tools for dispersion and stuff like that, I think get a little bit easier as you go as well, which, you can look at that stuff as you're going through, but, again, it just kind of depends, I think, on what you're trying to do. But I think it's a very good tool to start getting people introduced into all these numbers. Again, the more you pay, the better the device is going to read, and the more it's not going to calculate, it's going to measure. That's a much better way to do things than calculating. But you know what? For the price and getting some information, I do think it's a decent start to get people introduced to some of these concepts, even though you might be having to do a little bit of work later on to get exactly how far you're hitting and stuff like that. But that's just my experience with it so far. Again, kind of like it, but take it with a grain of salt as well, depending on what you're looking for with your budget and things like that. So hopefully this helps you out with these numbers, and hopefully you have the ability to use the device better, understand how it's going to help your game, and hopefully this will give you an idea of what to look for as you are practicing. So If you're interested in more information like this, make sure you check out, we have that Epic Winter program going on. Don't miss out on it. We cover tons of stuff like this and how to actually improve these numbers. So if you're looking to get better over the winter, make sure you check that out. I think it's going to be well worth it for your game. Don't want to miss it. So thanks everybody for tuning in. Let me know if you have any comments down below, any questions. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next video. Peace.